KZMB All Zombie Radio.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Evidence Board, a high potential case file companion show. And we're discussing season 2, episode 6 this evening, entitled Chasing Ghosts. I couldn't remember. Titled Chasing Ghosts. Oh, wait. Ooh, spooky. I have a spooky new font. I love it. Okay. All right, folks, let's get into it, shall we? Why did I say that? That was horrible. I hated it. I hate every moment of it. Anyway, Chasing Ghost aired earlier this week on Tuesday evening and was directed by Viet. I don't want to say it wrong. Hold on. I'm going to say it wrong. I'm just going to spell it Nguyen. I think it's like Nguyen, I think. Forgive me if I mispronounced it. I apologize. Um, it was written by Rebecca Kirsch and Jordan Rosenberg. Jordan Rosenberg is known for he worked in the sound department for American Pie. Who knew? Who knew? Hello again, Marcus. Hello again. I'm glad you're back. Um, all right, the ratings on this one. I feel like it needs like a drum roll. That was really loud, probably. 4.27. We've gone back up from last week, which is great. It was 4.15 last week. 4.27 is phenomenal. These are great numbers. Again, the show airs at the butt crack of evening because it's like 10 p.m. when this airs. All right, synopsis for the episode. In High Potential Season 2, Episode 6, titled Chasing Ghosts, the team investigates the death of a wealthy lawyer found in his seemingly haunted Victorian mansion. The episode coincides with the Halloween season and features a case that hints at the supernatural. Ooh, spooky. But the investigation also reveals subplots involving Captain Wagner's skills, the search for Roman, and a growing tension between Morgan and Ava. On a scale of 1 to 10, it was pretty freaking enjoyable, and I would score it at like a 8 or 9. It's not one of the highest. There have been higher. Don't get me wrong. Season 1 finale? You kidding? You joking me? Those episodes were really great. This one was good though. This was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, kind of playful. And it did the fun thing. Okay, so like spooky, right? Like a ghost maybe committed the murder. Except how is that possible? And we don't believe in ghosts. But then they do that thing at the end where they give like the little nod to like, but maybe there is something sinister and spooky at play. And then the episode ends. And I love when they do that because otherwise it kind of builds this like firm line in the sand. Like draws this firm line in the sand where it's like there is no spookiness or anything in this show. It's not canon for the show. And so this is more fun when they do like that kind of like, well, maybe it is. Ooh. Okay, so we have been reading each week episodes from Collider written by Jenny Richardson. She just published this article 3 days ago entitled High Potential High Potential Season 2 Episode 6 Review. The ABC series is setting up a new romance for Morgan, and I'm worried about it. I can guess what that's in reference to. All right. Take it away, Jenny. One thing about me is I absolutely love Halloween episodes, same girl. And we are now in that time of year when network TV delivers its finest and spookiest. High Potential's first Halloween episode, titled Chasing Ghosts, sees the LAPD's Major Crimes Division working to solve the case of a wealthy man named Danny Sternblatt, who has seemingly been frightened to death by a ghost. While Morgan investigates the case, she celebrates the holiday by keeping candy in her purse and encouraging Karadek to embrace the Halloween spirit, not the holiday spirit. The Halloween aspects of this episode are fun, but I would have liked to have seen them ramped up beyond the case. Morgan has such a great sense of style, and it was a missed opportunity that we didn't get to see her Halloween costume. The episode also further drags out the Roman mystery by not revealing the contents of the backpack until the end, but it's a generally fun Halloween episode, and the case has some really great twists. Excuse me. Okay, just flipping back and forth, make sure everything is still. Actually, hold on. Let's just do, or not, or it's gonna go glitchy on me. Ugh, I'm trying to do too much. I'm doing too much. Was all that necessary? Okay, there we go. This computer, man. All right, this computer is on its last leg. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Okay. All right. The Major Crimes Division initially believes Danny's death to be a heart attack due to the scare of a ghost designed to look exactly like a famous actress named Maddie St. Croix, who died in the house about 80 years earlier. Morgan figures out that Danny had believed that his house was haunted and that he'd been working with a spiritual advisor named Calliope to try to help him get rid of the ghost. Calliope tells Morgan and Karadek that specifics about the strange things that Danny had been hearing and seeing in the house, so they have a look around where they find the person who was dressed as a ghost the night after Danny died. Nope, dressed as a ghost the night Danny died. Her name is Shauna Kermy, and Danny's estranged wife, Lorraine, hired her to haunt him for months. Captain Wagner is back and as unsettling as ever this week. He insists on interviewing Shauna himself, and he tries to use this case to make himself look good to the department. So he's way too harsh on her during the interrogation. Morgan and Karadek go to speak to Lorraine, and in spite of her recent messy split from Danny, they realize she's innocent. Danny didn't die from Lorraine's haunting at all. Instead, someone poisoned him. Morgan is on a roll this episode, and the next break in the case happens when she discovers that Danny's house has a secret room. In the room are some of Maddie's old things, including a necklace worth $10 million. Now, I'm gonna give a little bit of a correction here, Jenny. They state that it's 10 without the baggage of Maddie St. Croix. Once you attach the Maddie St. Croix tragedy to it, they said it could go for up to 20 million. So it's like 10 to 20 would be the value for which Danny was killed. Why is this glitching so bad? What in the hell? Okay, hold on. Oh my God. It's like I just keep freezing on screen. So I'm worried that it's freezing in the stream, which is possible because it does happen, especially the last couple weeks. I don't know. Maybe my internet is starting to suck. See, I'm frozen again. What the hell? Okay, let me try this. Hold on. Maybe. Maybe that fixed it. Okay. All right. Let's see. Where were we? Okay. Morgan is on a roll this episode, and the next break in the case happens when she discovers that Danny's house has a secret room. It I already read this part, for which Danny was killed. Morgan figures out that Calliope killed Danny for the necklace, so the major crimes team works together to expose her, and then they arrest her. As it turns out, Ava, who has been refusing to speak to Morgan since their fight last week, and Morgan is too angry to meet her in the middle. They spend the episode at odds with each other, but at the end they finally talk things out. Ava suggests that Morgan is angry at her younger self instead of Ava, stating that she is just like Morgan, but she does acknowledge that she worried Morgan when she disobeyed her and joins Arthur. After dragging the storyline out for another episode, the contents of Roman's backpack are revealed at the very end. Sort of. There are what looks like to be a CD and a folder, and we don't get to see yet. And then there's a drawing of Roman's that proves that he went to see one of Ava's dance recitals when she was very little. It is sweet, but it also makes me question, okay, this is part of the problem. This Collider website has like ads up the wazoo. Y'all really hard up for that revenue. Okay. It is sweet, but it also makes me question Roman more because if he was willing to take that big of a risk, he should have told Morgan that he was alive. Captain Wagner continues to spend way too much time with major crimes this week, strengthening my theory from last week. He's especially interested in Morgan's relationship history, which could be just because he. Oh my God. I cannot wait to close this window. You know what? Let me just close it. Hold on. We'll do this a different way. We will do this a different way. Everything's frozen now. Cool. Okay, maybe we're good now. Okay, all I have open is this screen now. That's it. And it's still acting buggy. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone instead. And I should be able to read it. With no issues then. Okay, problem solved. Probably should have done this in the first place, honestly. I'm an idiot. Okay. Oh my gosh, the ad revenue is crazy. It's crazy. Okay. There are so many ads that are popping up on my phone right now. It's insane. All right. A full page. I've closed it twice now already. This is all right, Collider. Chill out. Chill out. Chill out. Or we're gonna have to stop reading Jenny's articles, okay? All right. He's especially interested in Morgan's relationship history, which could be just because he's interested in her, but I still think he's connected to what happened to Roman. Most interesting to me is the mention of Wagner's fiance, who passed away. He says it was a few years ago, but my growing theory has me wondering if he was engaged to FBI agent Lila Flynn before she was killed 15 years earlier. He might have played a reluctant part in her death to protect his family or himself in whatever cover up Lila and Roman were trying to expose. Or the mention of his fiance is simply the show's way of trying to add depth to his character, along with the photo of his very cute bulldog. This interaction also revealed that Morgan was never married to either Roman or Ludo, which is a notable diversion from the French-Belgian version of the show. That feels right for this version of Morgan. As a character, Morgan is deeply uncomfortable with commitment and has expressed her fear that her condition prevents her from being able to be a consistent and dedicated romantic partner. As of this episode, it's pretty clear that High Potential is indeed setting the stage for a Morgan and Wagner romance. That's how it felt to me the last couple episodes, actually, which will make things all the more interesting and explosive if he turns out to be a villain after all. All right, finally got through the article. Okay. Sorry about all the weird lagginess. Okay, so let's take a look at who was in this episode because there were some new characters. Obviously, there's always going to be one off characters in each of these episodes, but it's just fun to take a look and see what they've been in before. Nobody was super recognizable to me. Maybe I'm alone in that. Maybe you do recognize some of these people. So we're going to start with Robin Lively, who played Lorraine Sternblatt, the wife, or soon to be ex-wife. She is known for her role in the film Teen Witch. So there you go. She played Louise Miller in Teen Witch. She was also Jessica Andrews in The Karate Kid Part 3. Let's see. Most recently, she's been in she was in Landman. Wow, couldn't say it for some reason. She played Ellie for 3 episodes. She was in the show Lioness, which I've heard really good things about. She was in 911 Lone Star for 8 episodes. She played Marlene. She was in It Ends With Us, which let me tell you, that tea that we received during the promotion and run of that movie was insane. Um, she did return for Cobra Kai. She was in 1 episode of Cobra Kai after being related to the Karate Kid franchise. She was in an episode of The Rookie. She was in an episode of The Good Doctor. So you may recognize her. I'm seeing if there's anything else. She was in an episode of Hawaii Five-O. So lots of procedurals in her history episode of Major Crimes. So kind of her thing. This is her bag. Although Teen Witch is probably like what she's most well known for. And then also she was in fun fact, she was in an episode of Psych, which as we know, we've been talking a lot about Psych related to this show. All right, I want to talk about Paloma. And weirdly enough, Paloma is her actual name. I love when they do that. Hi, India. No, you're fine. You're fine. Good. Just tired. Everyone's good. Kira set an alarm for tonight, and I think she's still overslept. It's been so glitchy. I've been trying to like streamline it, but it has been so glitchy. I'm so sorry if it's still glitchy. I don't know what to do, honestly, at this point. I've closed everything. I only have the one window. I do have more than one window open, actually. Oh, well, I could do that on my phone too. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me pull it up on my phone and then we'll get back to Paloma. But that's been my workaround this evening, is just pulling stuff up on my phone so that there's like nothing pulled up on the computer. Okay. Ah! Oh, wow. Okay. It's user error. It's user error 100%. I really enjoyed this episode. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's not the top, but it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I love the spookiness of it. All right, so Paloma was played by Paloma as Barza Rabinov. She is a LA native, and she has been in, let's see. I didn't hear that. So India just said that High Potential is now currently rated for number 1 on ABC and for the fall, and the ratings are still pretty high. The ratings are crazy high. We already went over the ratings, and they have gone back up. They were, did I say 4.27? I don't remember what I said, but it's higher than last week. So it's going really well. It's going really, really well for such a late time slot again, which is what I'll always bring up when we talk about this. It's late. All right. Paloma has been in some shorts. She was in Physical, the TV show that was on Apple TV. She was in Tacoma Fire Department. She was in Weird. The Al Yankovic story. Yeah, Al Yankovic, sorry. She was in The Lincoln Lawyer, the TV show, The Lincoln Lawyer. She was in Mr. Mayor, which I really liked. Mr. Mayor. It's a fun TV show. Honestly, worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Oh, and she was in, oh, this is perfect. She was in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love that. I love that. Okay. All right. Let's see who else. Dan Donahue was in the episode very briefly. He played like one of the partners at the firm. He has been in, oh, interesting. He did some voice work for Death Stranding 2. He was in Government Cheese, which is a TV show on Apple, it looks like. He was in Batman Caped Crusader. He's done a lot of video game work. Yeah, Elder Scrolls Online. He did Modern Warfare 3, COD. He did Harry Potter, Magic Awakened. And then he was in some other TV shows like For All Mankind, Cinema Toast, Animal Kingdom. So kind of done a mix of some work. India says, I really liked this episode and it was so unpredictable, but so good. Thought it would be a filler episode, but it was really good and I was intrigued. It is, yeah, it was definitely kind of still a filler episode, but like a fun one. It was worth I watch. It's like it was fun. All right. The girl who was in the house dressed as the bride, Shauna Kermy, was played by Allison Cristofaro, and she has been in Second Chances. Looks like it's a movie, 13 minutes. Breaking Them Up, Lady Usher. Yeah, not a ton, just some movies. So this looks like that may have been her first TV show, which is cool. Okay, and then we do have the kids that were at the beginning, which I loved. Lawrence was the kid dressed on the left-hand side that was like dressed as like an absolute diva, but I don't know who he was supposed to be. That was that person. I'm sorry, Lawrence was played by Eric Grooms. Um, the kid who went up on the porch is played by Micah Howard, and he was actually in Baby Driver as a barista. Just like fun fact about him. Let's see, who else do we have on this list? It looks like the girl that was in that group of 3 is the character's name was Grace, and Grace was played by Zoe Kate Thompson. And she is like a theater actor um by trade. And then there's only a couple more people to talk about. Oh, okay. I love that. They credited who played Aristotle in Morgan's little like vision or like little I don't know, like her little imaginative play that she had. Aristotle was played by Anthony Suave, or Salve. And let's see. He's been in great. He was in 1923, which is a Yellowstone series. If you haven't seen it, I really enjoy Yellowstone though, so I really liked it. Um, he was in Book of Secrets, the TV show. He was in some shorts. He was in CSI Miami back in the day. He was in Strong Medicine. He was also oh my goodness, I haven't thought of this show in forever. He was on The Pretender, which was also a really good show back in the like mid to late 90s. And then Danny Sternblatt. Danny Sternblatt was played by Matt Kaminsky. And Matt Kaminsky again has been in a ton of stuff. Like recently, he was in 3 episodes of the show Countdown. He was in an episode recently of Days of Our Lives. He did some voice work for DC High Volume Batman, the podcast. He was in an episode of General Hospital. Oh, he was in the show Paradise, which is a good show. I only watched part of the first season, but it's good. He was also in oh, weird. He was in one of the monster TV series that I was just talking about on the other live stream. He was in CSI Vegas. He was in Picard, if you're into Star Trek. He was in Saved by the Bell, but like the new Saved by the Bell? That's a thing. Barf. What will they not remake? He was in The Rookie, The Neighborhood, Grey's Anatomy, Bob's Burgers, SWAT, This Is Us, Lethal Weapon, Bosch, The Fosters, The Orville, The Golden Age, Murder in the First. He's definitely that guy. He's been in a ton of stuff. A lot of procedurals again, like Castle, Perception, and again, another Psych alumni, which is fun. Okay, the person I waited to go over last is the villain of the episode, Calliope. Um, okay, thank you for telling me it's not glitching anymore. Thank you. I had a question. I'm thinking of starting a found rewatch space on Twitter or X, but how do I go with something like that, getting people interested? Um, okay, let me finish going through this and then I'll give you some tips, I think. And then honestly, you should talk to Kira because she's like way more active on X than I am, and she has like developed some pretty big like a pretty big fan account, so you should talk to her about it. But I will give you some tips about it. Okay. So Calliope was played by Marie Botha, and Marie has been in a few things. Most recently, The Penguin, and played Magpie in The Penguin. She was also in Apple TV's Dickinson and Highway 1, which is a movie, a couple shorts. I thought she did a great job. Very believable. I thought she was great. What a fun villain. Um, to be like a fake, like a snake oil salesman of like peace and tranquility, and kind of selling that like crunchy crystal vibe, like very witchy, but like not being good at it. I loved it. I thought it was fun, and obviously very clever that there was a secret. I'll come in there in a minute. Um, very clever that there was a secret room, and that was where like all this stuff had been stored and it had been boarded up. It was all very cool. I love that this season it seems to be that they're really amping up the little imaginative breakaway scenes, because those are really cool and very interesting. And also I love that there's like historical fact to some of this, because that's been, I think, the most fun is the little breakaway scenes where we see like Aristotle, or we saw the woman who figures out that there's like a closed off room in her house in that like old castle, because she has her handmaids go and tie the ribbons up in the windows. It's all very fun and very playful, and a really cool way to like learn too while you're watching it, which is fun. It's an added bonus. Okay, I had written down some questions. Let's see. Let's see what I wrote. What did I write here? What did I write here? Okay. All right. So, got a couple questions. All right. Were there any details in this episode that you noticed before the reveal? I think as soon as they said that he died of a heart attack, I was like pretty convinced that it was going to be some sort of one of those medications that don't show up unless you specifically test for them. Um, which, what is the validity of potassium chloride? You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay. And also, FBI agents, please don't. I'm fine. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just looking it up. It's just for this. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. It is technically okay. 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 So it's technically just like a normal thing. It's a salt substitute. It's used in sodium free like foods. Um it's an electrolyte. It's also used medically as a prescription medication for people who have like low potassium. However, ingesting large quantities can cause gastrointestinal irritation, and in severe cases affect heart function. All right, let's see. Okay. Yes, high doses of potassium chloride, particularly from a okay, it would have to be an IV. It would have to be an IV. It can cause a heart attack, but it's like, yeah, orally it's not gonna be high enough level to cause this. So there's no validity to that. Or little to no validity. Yeah, there's like some things, some articles written and some studies written about like intravenous injection of potassium. Let's see. This is an old one. This one was from 1975, and it says cardiac arrest developed in two patients after the administration of oral potassium. Neither patient had renal insufficiency, but both had underlying heart disease. Okay, so it can be dangerous for people who already have underlying heart disease. But again, this is written in 1975. So I don't know like how often that happens. This might be like a freak thing. And then Hollywood's just kind of run with it as like a fun way to kind of play this whole, oh well, what if they have a heart attack but it's not really a heart attack, which is often, I mean we've seen this before, it's a trope. This is a trope, the potassium chloride thing. But I thought it was kind of fun. Anyway, really loving the breakaway scenes. I'm really loving the show. I really enjoy it. I have ranted and raved every episode about why I love it, and so I'm not going to go into that now. But I think it's definitely worth watching if you haven't watched it. Like, it's just fun to watch. But if you are watching it, I pray that you keep watching it because these are the kind of shows that we need to have on TV. Like, these are fun, good quality entertainment. The ratings are high because it's an easy watch. It's interesting. It's got some bits of historical like play involved, which I really like. And I don't know, and it tells an interesting story. And so we should be praising writers and directors that do this kind of work. Instead of just watching reality television. Anyway, okay. I guess that's it for my take on this episode. I'm sorry, these episodes have been short today. It's hard when you don't have anybody to, you know, what's that called? Riff with. I don't have anybody to riff with, really. I mean, India, thank God you're here. So otherwise it'd really be just me talking to the mic. And sometimes that's okay, but I'm just not in it lately. I'm just not there. I'm just not there. And the back-to-back episodes is not helping me. Okay, so you are thinking of doing a found rewatch space. I think that's a great idea. And then let me suggest who I feel that you should tag or retweet or maybe even try to get in contact with. So I ended up tagging. Okay. I have a lot of recommendations actually. Okay. I have a couple different things. So you should, when you would consider starting this, um like if you're like, oh, I'm going to start this in, a week or whatever, and I want to start getting the word out there, create your little preface thing, your little amp up thing that you want to send out. And then I would tag Demaine Davis, and then I would also tag Bill Kelly. Which I think that Demaine Davis's at is just Demaine Davis, but I'll check. Yep, just Demaine Davis. I would also tag, yeah, Bill Kelly because he was the the captain, the police captain. Uh, Bill Kelly actor. I'm sure you know these ats, India, because you were on, weren't you on X? Isn't that how you found us? Um, Let me think. Who else? You can also do the tags, and I would do both tags because that's what I would do when I would like live tweet. Is I would tag NBC found and then tag found NBC because NBC found like lost their live account for some reason. Oh no, that's okay. Well, you might want to rewind, India, because I was kind of giving you a couple of things that you could do. There is also a fan account called at Save NBC Found that would be worth tagging. When you do that, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. And then I would suggest that you message, like DM Kira privately. If you want to DM her on Twitter, her Twitter is Connie Dixon for like the number 4 and then life, but it's LYF. Um Consider messaging her because she also has a blog slash kind of like podcast blogger situation called Noir and Nerdy that has some traction on X, so she would be able to help you kind of get that out there. She could repost it for you. um I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Hold on. Okay, let me go look at Demaine's page because there were a couple people that used to Live tweet. Domain has moved on, girl. Domain is doing brilliant minds now. Okay. All right. Again, okay, so not only would I do the hashtag NBC found and hashtag found NBC, but also hashtag save found is also not trending, but like is the around. And then let me see, is there anybody else? Looks like KK Foster. So KK Foster artist. Um, so that's at KK Foster artist. Was trying to get the signatures running. So that would be another person to reach out to as well. I don't think I can think of anybody else. So Domain, Bill Kelly, KK, Foster, and then those 3 tags. And I think and then talk to Kira and see if she'll, she would definitely repost it for you if you asked. But just talk to her to make sure that she knows that it would be coming through. I follow them on Instagram, I think. Okay, great. Yeah, so I think there's, like, quite a few people, that you can kind of throw it to that would maybe, like if they repost, then you're gonna get some traction. Otherwise, the tags are really gonna do a lot of the work. So that's the thing. When I was like, I don't have a following on X, just so you know. I have 148 followers. I had 10 from just like people I knew. And the only reason I have as much traction as I do is just because I would live tweet with the show. And as you're live tweeting through the episode, you're just doing those hashtags over and over again. And people who were interested and found are going to see that on their For You feed. And that may lead them to end up following what you're doing and kind of play in. So that's really all you do. That's a big part of it is that For You. Um, anyway, that would be my suggestion for that. But good luck with that. Let me know if you do start that, let me know. And I can repost it too. I'm not very active on X, but I'm happy to repost it for you. Definitely. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it a wrap here. I'm starving and my husband made me dinner and I'm going to go eat it. Okay, India says I'm doing it with a friend that I met through Found. I'm just a little nervous but excited because I love Found, and although it ain't coming back, I think it would be fun to do it, especially for some of the fans. I think that it could be good. Are you gonna when you say like you're doing a rewatch for it and you're doing like a space, are you doing like an audio space? Like are you doing like a live like chat as you talk through it? Or are you planning on doing like video and you're like doing it through like streaming, or like what are you planning on doing? Because I'm interested, and if I can help you promote it in any way, I will. And I'll let you know when I start it. Great. Please do. Please do. I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have a huge following, but if I can at least get it in front of some people who do have a bigger following than me, then I will. All right. In the meantime, I am going to say thank you to the people who are here. Audio space, maybe. Okay. Audio space is, I think, fairly easy. And if you have like a small following, you'll usually get some people who jump on, which is kind of fun. So, and you never know, people might want to be involved in the conversation. So you can like allow that invite in or whatever. If you want to do that, which I think that could be like a fun thing to do too, is to add some extra people in. And people love for the opportunity to talk about it. And if it's not on camera, they love it even more because then they don't feel as embarrassed. So I think audio space is probably a good choice. Since I think we're live, I still got to ask my friend what they think, but rewatching it and recapping from season 1 to 2, I think it'd be fun. I think you should. That's fun. All right. So we'll call it quits here. Thank you, India, for being here. Thank you, Marcus, for being here. I really appreciate it. Someone else is here too. I don't know who you are, but thank you, stranger, for being here. Uh, I appreciate you guys. Join us again next week. Again, next week is the last week that the Evidence Board High Potential Companion File show will be playing at 8. The week after Halloween, that first week in November, We will be moving it into that 7 p.m. slot because Limited Series Lounge will be over. And I do want to check and see because this was a Halloween episode. Are they planning on having an episode next week? I don't know. It looks like we do have an episode that's supposed to air next week entitled The One That Got Away. And you said in next week's episode, who is Morgan kissing? Girl, I don't know, and I'm not ready to talk about it yet. All right. All right. So I will see you guys next week, hopefully, again for 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for India. Thank you so much for being here and being active. It's really helpful, especially when Kira's gone. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night, and I will see you next week.